Hello and welcome to the Underhive. We are back with some more How to Command the Death Guard. In this series, we're going to be taking a look at every aspect of the Death Guard, so whether you're looking to get more out of your army, or you're thinking of joining Nurgle's finest, then there's something here for you. In this episode, I wanted to take a look at our friendly neighbourhood mutants, the Chaos Spawn, and how the changes to the Daemons Codex, or the release of the 9th edition Daemons Codex, changes how we might play our army. Now, of course, you can include demons in your list as long as they're Nurgle demons and they account for no more than 25% of the power level, and that's another subject we can take a look at. But for now, considering just the demon release and the fact that you might come up against demons with a Death Guard Codex, I think is quite good news for the Chaos Spawn. So let's dive in and take a look. Demons not only have a great selection of troops that can really be a nightmare in the backfield, but they also have some great means to deliver them. They can deliver them wholly within 6 of a loci unit, so that would otherwise ignore any other rules from what I understand. So if they get a loci unit very, very close to your lines, then they're going to be able to bring in that support, definitely in range to attempt to charge, but very likely make it. But the other factor besides that, because of course the loci is going to have to make their way up the board, and whilst some of them are reasonably quick, ultimately they still have to commit those turns to movement before they're going to be able to do that. But the other aspect of the demons striking in is that they operate based on the leadership of the unit that they're striking in next to, rather than the typical being at least 9 and a bit inches away. Now, that's particularly relevant for one of my favourite picks for any Death Guard list, and I'm sure one of yours as well, the Poxwalkers. Normally, we haven't been bothered about the Poxwalkers' leadership because they can't fail morale, so it was largely useless aside from a few interactions with enemy factions rules that require leadership. But as they're not a character, it doesn't affect things like psychic interrogation, so it wasn't really that big of an issue. Now, because they're only leadership 4, and the demons can modify that leadership by just having units nearby, that means you could have a group of demonettes striking in just over 4 inches away from your Poxwalkers, or perhaps even closer if they are affected by any other modifiers. For that reason, I think the Chaos Spawn has become a much more reasonable pick. I don't think there was anything wrong with it previously, but I think it has become a better option in that the Chaos Spawn are leadership 9. So particularly for holding that home objective, sadly they can't do the action on it, but you could spend a turn with one squad of Poxwalkers or squad of Plague Marines to get that spread the sickness off before moving off that objective and leaving it to the Chaos Spawn to defend. Now, you'll probably need a squad of a few Chaos Spawn, because again, if they get a unit in range, you may then suffer the leadership penalty, so you might not be closing out the full 9 inches when it comes to the opponent actually striking in. And being a single model on the objective, even just touching into the objective range, you're unlikely to be able to shield out enough of your deployment zone to make that really worthwhile. So I'd imagine it will come down to a few Chaos Spawn units. Now, even numbers and being 2,000 points on the nose is a big deal to me, not necessarily a factor for everybody. So I might consider running a squad of 2 and a squad of 3, just because that would even out the points. But the fast attack slot is definitely a coveted slot for the Death Guard. But ultimately, having a unit there that can prevent the opponent's game plan is value. And not having another flesh mower isn't necessarily that big of a penalty, particularly if you are expecting to come up against demons, because they don't care about that AP, they just have that demon save. So the profile of the Chaos Spawn being strength 5 and 2d3 attacks base, you roll a d3 when it's fighting and you'll get an additional effect off the back of it. The result of a 1 is additional AP, so that's not going to be great into demons, but it is good into other armies. And of course, if we're talking about a tournament here, you might not face any demons, and so having that AP is still fine. But the results of the 2 or 3 are very good into really anything. The result of a 2 is an extra d3 attack, so at least 1 more attack. and the result of a 3 is the ability to reroll wounds, which is always very nice. Now, demons can have ways to prevent rerolls, but if we're talking about defending the back line, some of that time they're not necessarily going to be supported. They're just going to be the unit that's struck in. So making that either an 8 or 9 inch charge typically, and not necessarily supported to prevent your rerolls, I think makes the Chaos Spawn a better pick for that home objective if you are in a demon heavy meta. It was a pretty quick point as it goes there, but I think it deserved saying because I've been down on Chaos Spawn for the majority of my Death Guard playing tenure, mainly because the Poxwalkers can and have previously been able to do the secondary action for the Death Guard, which previously was fine, but is now better, and that is really a priority for me to make sure that I can capitalise on that relatively easy and consistent secondary. Whilst the Chaos Spawn don't contribute to that, I don't think it's too much to squeeze them into the list and play around that. Just get it done on the home objective first before you move out. And they do also offer you that utility that in the late game, if your home objective isn't being challenged, but something towards the mid board is, they have got that decent movement and a risky charge that if it comes up changes the game is still something that's nice to have. If you couldn't make that charge, say if we're talking about Poxwalkers, they're only a 4-inch move, so unlikely they would be able to move from the home objective to be within a reasonable charge distance of the centre. So for a variety of reasons, I think they're on the up. I know some of you have commented previously that you like the Chaos Spawn, own the Chaos Spawn. Are you considering running them more so for this reason now? Or would you have run them anyway, and is this just an added bonus? Let me know in the comments. I will always read them and get back to you. We are very close to 1,000 now, so just a reminder, when we get to 1,000, I will be doing a giveaway. I don't think I'll make it one specific prize. I think we'll just look at whatever the winner wants. So the requirement will just be, I'll put a video up and you just comment on the video. That's it. So just a heads up that will be coming for those of you that are stuck around to the end. For the video that I release, it will just be about the giveaway. So I'm not going to hide it at the back end of a video or anything like that. I want all of you to have as much chance as anybody else to win. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time in the Underhive.